Hello, fellow Toastmasters. Today I want to share with you a few things about mentoring. And I believe that mentoring is one of the key components to a successful club and successful membership. From a member standpoint, it makes the member more satisfied. They understand the process, they understand why we do certain things in Toastmasters because it's to their benefit. So, a mentor will help them understand what we do in Toastmasters, help them through their experience, help them achieve their goals, which is why they came to Toastmasters. Secondly, it's a benefit to the club. The club retains members better if they have been mentored, successfully mentored, in the fact that they understand what Toastmasters is about, they understand how to meet their goals, because that is the reason that they joined Toastmasters to begin with. But today I want to share with you a document that we created in our club called a mentor guide. And at the end of this training, I will have my email available. Feel free to email me and I'll send you this document. You can change the club name to your club name and use it totally as how you feel to. So the mentor guide is a 2-page document. Now the first page is really for the mentor, and then the second page is just a questionnaire on the person that you are mentoring or your mentee. The first page is what we're going to talk about the most today. And like I said, this is for the mentor. I like to print these off, give it to the mentor, and let them use this during their process of mentoring a member. So a couple of terms we need to understand. One is mentor. Mentor is a trusted counselor or guide. What a mentor is not is a coach. A coach pushes someone, gives them instructions on how to accomplish their goals, where a mentor just gives guidance, gives encouragement, and shares the wisdom that they have. The second term is mentee or a protege, and I'll try to use mentee through this video consistently, but you may wind up finding out that I messed up. But I'm going to try to use the word mentee. So what does a mentor do? A mentor takes personal interest in the mentee. That's why we have at the bottom or the back side of this sheet is a questionnaire. You can get to know more about the person that you are mentoring, your mentee. Who do they work for? Who are they married to? Are they married? What's their background? And why did they join Toastmasters? This is probably the most important question that you'll ask them is, why did you join Toastmasters? How can we help you achieve the goals that you have for joining Toastmasters? So what else does a mentor do? A mentor shares wisdom. A mentor should be someone who has been in Toastmasters. Toastmasters International will say at least 6 months. I say that a mentor should have at least finished level 2 in pathways or the equivalent in the traditional manuals, but they should have wisdom to share. They walk the walk and they talk the talk. They show up to meetings on time. They give speeches. They actively are involved in the club on an ongoing basis. They set the example for their mentee. They are their head cheerleader. If you know that you've given a speech and it didn't really go good, you know that you've got somebody that's going to hopefully encourage you after that speech. They also serve as a confidant. When you share it in your mentor-mentee relationship, that really should be between you two. Don't share that information if it's personal. A mentor offers perspective. Here's what I would have done. Here's probably a good way to approach that. They offer a perspective on how a member should approach a particular subject. They don't force them to like a coach does, but they just offer their perspective. And then they challenge them to stretch themselves, to try new things, to try things differently than what they had thought they could do. That's a part of learning, isn't it? Stretching yourself, learning new things. So what does the process look like? A mentor should help first and foremost, should help them determine their expectations from their Toastmasters experience. We talked about it earlier. Why did you join Toastmasters? What is it that you want from being in Toastmasters? That's a very real question that we should be asking our mentees. And they should also orient them to club practices and procedures, our customs that we have, the culture that we have in each club. Each club is different, and that's okay. That's good. But how do we explain that to new members? That should be the job of the mentor. Encourage them to sign up for roles. Be sure that they're signing up for timer, for evaluator, all the way up to being Toastmaster of the day, and of course, giving speeches. Help them choose their path. If they've not already, that should be one of the first things, obviously, that Toastmaster does is choose their path. But if they've not gotten there yet, work with them to help them determine their path. Maybe you want to practice speeches with them. Say, I'll meet you a few minutes before our meeting and to let you practice that speech or do it online. You should be that available to them. Provides feedback on speeches and, of course, the roles that they perform. Of course, we get feedback from our evaluator for our speaker, but you should know that person, your mentee, well enough to know that I see you're progressing. I see that you've done this, or maybe you've gone back. You have that perspective from a personal perspective to tell them about their growth and what they need to be working on. Help them work through the levels. And we'll talk about this later, but I suggest that the formal relationship is concluded at level 1. By level 1, you figure out how Pathways works, and you're pretty well on your way to being self-sufficient. But as they progress, they might need help in other areas, and you come back to that. Also, let me share this. I believe that there is an official time schedule that we should be having as far as mentoring. But if a mentor relationship was correctly administered, correctly went through over the Toastmasters first part of their career, this really should be a lifelong relationship. Not that they always come to you, but if you got to know somebody pretty well, then there shouldn't be no reason why you wouldn't want to continue that relationship just as long as you possibly could. Challenge them to try something new. We talked about that. And then model great behavior. You be there. You show up on time. You get there early. You show them how a true Toastmaster should act during a meeting. So the checklist is something that's chronological that I think as the mentor coordinator, we should be checking up with our mentors. Say, hey, how are you doing with your mentees? Let's get out your checklist here and just see how far you've progressed and what challenges are you having with this particular person. So the first thing in the checklist is contact the mentee as soon as you are assigned their mentor. As soon as you have that mentee, you need to reach out to them and contact them. And the very first thing you want to talk to them about is getting to know each other and setting your communication preferences. How do you want to be communicated to? Do you do emails better? Is texting better for you? Maybe it's a Facebook message. What's the best way to do it? Maybe it's meet together. Can we get together for coffee? Can we have lunch together? Breakfast? What's the best way that we can get together and talk for 30 minutes at a time, let's say? You set those expectations and those boundaries, and they may say, I cannot talk during the workday. From 8 to 5, I'm out of touch. I can't talk. Okay, fair enough. How about to 9 o'clock at night on Mondays or on Tuesdays. What works? Establish those preferences for you and your mentee. And then the second thing, or the third thing you do, but the most important thing you do, is find out their overall Toastmasters goals. Why did they join Toastmasters? What is it that you want to gain from this Toastmasters experience? Is it to speak better? Is it to be more comfortable in front of a crowd? Is it leadership? What is it that they want from this Toastmasters experience? And then start to break that down into 6 month goals. We're getting ready to come up on July, and so from July to say Christmas, set a 6 month window. What goals would you like to accomplish between this time? Then turn around when it comes Christmas time, first part of the year, around January, early January. Let's sit down again. Now, between now and July the 4th, what kind of goals would you like to accomplish? Put those in 6 month increments, something they can really grasp a hold of, but yet still see that they're progressing. And then second part of that sentence is, how can you support them meet those goals? Next item is to walk the mentee through club meeting roles. What does the Toastmaster of the day do? What does the general evaluator do? Why do we have a timer, grammarian, all those things? What does it mean to do those? Just sort of explain what it means and help them to sign up for those roles as well. Walk them through the club officer positions, from the president, vice president of education, all the way down. Why do we have officers, and what role do they fulfill in helping our club? And then walk them through the web pages, through our Free Toast host, through Toastmasters, through the district, through your club websites. Help them understand where to find things. Know that there's a difference between Free Toast host and Toastmasters International. That that right there is a big enough challenge sometimes for the early Toastmaster. Now, why do we have to go 2 different places to sign up for a speech or go into pathways? And explain how that works there to them. Explain pathways. Now, I don't believe that it is the mentor's job to train a new mentee on pathways. I believe that is the function of the vice president of education, and there should be set times that new members receive training on pathways, but I think the mentor is there to just reinforce the training on pathways. I don't think that you have to. And of course, you know what? Your club may be different. You do this in your club the way your culture dictates in your own club. Of course, encourage them to sign up for their icebreaker speech within the first month, just as quick as they possibly can. Get them understanding what it takes to do that training, to sign up on Free Toast Host, and to prepare and deliver a speech. Get them going as quick as possible. Sit with them. I'm losing my place here. Help me out here. Sit next to the mentee when they serve in the role. When we're in person, okay, that's a different when you're online. But when you're in person, sit next to them, encourage them, talk with them, real quickly to help them understand and give them encouragement. Share praise with them for their first time that they perform a role. Right, great job. You did a great job. I'm glad you signed up. And maybe if you're the timer, remember to hold that timer sheet up the whole time that the time is supposed to be displayed, the card is supposed to be displayed. Oh, just give them some little tips along the way. Assist in preparing their speeches. Rehearse if possible. They may bounce some things off of you. Here's what I'm thinking. What should I do? For me, when I first started, and this was hard to learn and to explain, is especially in your icebreaker. I'm years old, and it took. There's a lot to talk about there. In 54 years, I said it. In 54 years, there is so much to talk about. I can't possibly talk about that in 4 to 6 minutes. Well, that's the challenge and the benefit and the beauty of being in Toastmasters. Help you take all this information you have and wheel it down into just a small digestible time in a 4 to 6 minute speech. Help them understand just talk about things that are there. Invite them to come with you to a area division or district speech contest, which means you should be participating and or going to visit those contests. And we talked about this earlier, revisit their 6 months goals. At the end of that 6 months, okay, do we accomplish the goals that you set out? Why didn't you do them? If you did, congratulations, celebrate with them. If they didn't, what does it take to reset those goals and do it again the next 6 months? And then lastly, Toastmasters will say that the formal mentor-mentee relationship is accomplished after 6 months. I believe that it really should be accomplished after the completion of level 1, because it's after the completion of level 1 that they've given 4 speeches. Hopefully by that time they've also been an evaluator, performed several roles, and they understand the logistics of how to participate in all the club functions, all the club roles. So that's my suggestion. Each club may look at that differently. We talked about before the information, the personal information. There again, this is your information to write down and keep with you. When I mentor somebody, I let them know that I'm going to be completing this because my memory's bad. I need this. If you told me you got a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old, and one's a boy, one's a girl, I'm going to forget which is which. If I don't write it down, I'm going to forget it. So I make notes on this sheet, and I keep them in my folder that I take with me to all of my Toastmasters. In this, besides all their personal information, write down their reason for joining Toastmasters. Why did they join Toastmasters? And then set some goals. And of course, we know that those should be SMART goals. I'm going to mess this up, but I'm going to try it. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. I did it. SMART goals. Write those SMART goals down. And then ask them also, what is their strength, or what's their weakness when it comes to public speaking? Where are they at, right? Same thing with leadership. Where's your strengths and where are your challenges when it comes to leadership? Toastmasters is both a public speaking and a leadership organization. Helps us develop all those. And the mentor is somebody that really, really is important to the club, to the mentor, and their being successful as a Toastmaster. I'm totally convinced that we need not more mentors, but quality mentors who can help new members along their path to being successful in achieving their goals that they have set in Toastmasters. Thank you.